New York. To win acclaim in this fiercely competitive city is the seal of approval for most musicians, but few make it. One who has been accepted into the charmed circle at the top is the Canadian pianist Glenn Gould. When Gould is preparing for a recording session or concert in New York, he heads first for Steinway's on 57th Street. Down in the basement, a whole troupe of famous concert grands are kept ready for the great pianists of our time.
Well, that's all right. That's what he's here for.
Here, Gould hopes to find an instrument that will have exactly the tone and action he wants.
Now, let us push on.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Gould, Mr. Gould. It's good. Plays are just the same, the guy, you know?
Well, everybody has to have his own. No.
You like Mozart or the piano? What?
Both.
Well,
Too heavy.
here's the one.
Yeah.
Let's try this again.
No, I think this is it. Really.
Gould was born with a rare sensitivity to sound, and already at the age of 3 it was discovered that he had absolute pitch. When such gifts are matched with musical intelligence and a fortunate physical endowment, and capped with many years of hard labor, there may emerge a musician of some stature. And such rare persons enter a very special world, with its own peculiar problems, difficulties, rewards, and professional preoccupations.
What you really need is me out at Flushing as an idea man. I mean, after all, the piano went out of fashion as a family convenience at the turn of the century. What you've got to think of now is a mid-20th century piano, something with all these extras that you've just described.
Garbage disposal.
Well, actually, what I would like is a piano with a small, say, 25 horsepower engine underneath it that it could move itself about, you know.
Well, that's an excellent idea. We just say, go to Carnegie Hall.
Right.
We'll eliminate all this trucking monkey business.
Open the door.
Cut cottage costs down to at least $5 a throw.
Tell me something. You have upstairs the old Hoffman chair, which I've seen.
It's out in the factory now.
Well,
yeah.
there it is, which looks completely formidable to me. I don't know how anybody could sit on it. But apart from Hoffman and me,
Yes.
who else has had a special chair? Anybody?
Pieterszoon.
Adjustable or just...
No, it was a special chair. It had a leather seat and it had a high back, a support. And as a matter of fact, it has fringe with little balls and little tassels around it. And both the Pieterszoon chair and the Hoffman chair are out in the factory in our
Then you had the
warehouse.
And how much am I bid for this?
Well, Glenn, I'll tell you, I think seriously that this chair should be willed to Steinway and Sons.
I tell you, this would be a
Don't speak of will.
chair.
Well, I didn't mean to that. I meant that you should will it to us, not in your will and your last will and testament, but we'd be delighted to have it in our magnificent
This is going to be in the Morris Knopper collection of Steinwayana.
Memorabula of the greats.
This would be a Morris
the
chair.
seats of the immortals.
This a Morris chair?
We can do that. That would be marvelous. We'd get them all lined up and take a beautiful photograph sometime, and then we will have it entitled The Seats of the Immortals.
Yes.
Glenn Gould, Joseph Hoffman, Ignaz Paderewski. I think that's terrific.
When Gould is not on tour or recording, he spends most of his time at his retreat, a cottage on the shore of Lake Simcoe, 90 miles north of Toronto. Here he works on the piano he favors above all others for practicing, a 70-year-old Chickering with a resonant, harpsichord-like quality, recalling the instruments of the time of Bach. In one respect, Gould's life is very simple. He lives alone for the most part, with his dog Banquo, in the country place where he spent all his holidays as a child. Mrs. Doolittle, the neighbor, cleans up and cooks for him sometimes. The Doolittles remember him as a rather solitary little boy, with strong opinions and a hatred of cruelty, who was happiest in the hours when he was free to practice the piano. Gould needs the undistracting tempo of rural life to concentrate completely on his one love. It is a single-minded absorption, so great that the local storekeeper likes to tell of finding crumpled banknotes dropped absent-mindedly and frozen in the snow. Automatically, he put them aside for Glenn. For dinner, Gould usually drives into Aurelia, 5 miles away. The cafe proprietor, Gincito, is so proud of him that his Wurlitzer often plays Gould recordings of Bach and Krennek at full volume, to the astonishment of the tourists. Gould is not well known locally, and most people are unaware that a young man living down the road draws rave notices when he plays in San Francisco or London.